Niners fans, it's about that time. 7:30 on a Monday night. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And it is a Victory Monday. And this is one of the best Victory Mondays of the year because obviously it propelled us into the playoffs. Definitely looking forward to matching up with the Cowboys this Sunday in Dallas. Looking forward to that game. But we have to still talk about the latest 49ers victory over the hated rival LA Rams. That's 6 games in a row that we've beaten the Rams. Clearly, we have their number. But I brought a special guest with me on today. He represents, or I should say, he's a part of that Real Talk Niner Talk YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of him, make sure you check him out. But we have here today, he goes by the name of Super Dave, the OG. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight, man. What's good? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, Jay. Still celebrating that victory yesterday. I think best game overall for the whole season as far as adversity. Just coming back from 17 points down, how they stuck together. And I have to give Jimmy Garoppolo his props, especially after it didn't look too good in that first half.
Right.
But he battled back, and say what you want about him, but he got us there.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, it's been an up and down season. It's been a seesaw type of season. Jimmy's had his ups, he's had his downs, just like a few players on the team. But Jimmy came through when we really needed it, right? I mean,
really
as you said, the first half was terrible. He led us on that drive at the end of the first half, really gave the team momentum heading into the second half, and things started to work our way. Holes started to open up in the running game. Jimmy was able to make some throws. The playmakers finally got their hands on the ball and they were making plays. And the defense was incredible. Getting after Stafford, making him feel uncomfortable. What were your thoughts on the defense?
Just outstanding. That entire front line. The reason they've come a long way. Beginning of the season, we had a lot of guys hurt on that front line. Maurice Hurst still out. But once we got healthy on that front line and then actually put Armstead in the front instead of having him in between the front and on the end, it really started to take shape. You started to see the run games of other teams start to dwindle. That happened again today. And just getting pressure on that Rams offensive line, that was key, making him uncomfortable in the second half. I think that really changed the game. It helped out our secondary too because they were getting cooked in that first half.
Yeah. Matt Stafford, I think he only had one incompletion in that first half. And he, I don't remember the last time a tight end, had 2 receiving touchdowns on us this season. I don't know if that's happened. That might have been the first time.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Tyler Higbee's a good one, and he took his lumps getting those touchdowns too.
Yeah, he did. He did get his lumps, and Cooper Kupp, he's having a hell of a season. I tip my cap to him. He's a hell of a wide receiver. He's definitely made the most of this season. I'm not sure if he got the single season receiving record, but he was pretty close in catches and in yards.
I was so true to the game. I lost all train of thought of him getting that record.
I think no worries.
One key switch that they finally made was Dante Johnson had to fill in for K'Wan Williams in the slot. He did not look good. I mean, every time I looked and they went to Cooper Kupp, he was getting burnt in the middle. So they switched him to safety. He actually took 27 snaps, Shanahan said, at the safety position. Once they made that switch, then it was on Stafford to find others, which he was not able to. So that really helped.
No, absolutely. I wanted to ask you about what do you think the turning point in the game was? But before we get to that, shout out to everyone watching Jay in the Bay Facebook, the Spotlight Sports Network Facebook, Jay in the Bay YouTube, Spotlight Sports Network YouTube, and also, of course, Jay in the Bay Twitter. and you are representing that Real Talk Niner Talk YouTube channel. For the folks that don't know who the Real Talk Niner Talk crew is, let the people know how can they find you and what do you guys discuss on your channel.
We discuss the game just like everybody else. We do it in a barbershop style. Some of the things we say people might not like, but we try to be as real as we can. We're on every Wednesdays and Saturdays, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook. If you miss the broadcast, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever podcasts are ran.
Nice. And for those, make sure you guys check them out. Their social media links are all in the description of this video. The Real Talk Niner Talk YouTube, IG, Twitter, and also Dave's IG account as well. So make sure you guys check them out and support them. They talk about the Niners as well, and they are very good. I'm a fan, so that's why I wanted to have Dave on the show here tonight.
And we're a fan of this show, so
hey, appreciate you, man. And gotta say, this show is nothing without the people in the chats, the fans, the people who I communicate with or we communicate with. And so, I can't leave them out. It is a much better show when they are involved. So I got to say what's up to the people. We got SG Sports Talk channel in the building. What's good? SG Sports Talk says, hi, Jay in the Bay. We're doing well tonight. It's a Victory Monday, man. We're in the playoffs. This is the best Victory Monday, I feel, so far this season. And
most definitely.
Absolutely.
I live in Ram territory. To go outside after the game and just hear silence. And then to turn on the local broadcasters and see them solemn.
Yeah.
Best feeling in the world.
Yeah, because we've had their number. 6 games in a row we've won. I'm not sure if I asked you this question beforehand, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. What do you think is the reason? Why are the 49ers have this dominance over the LA Rams? What do you think?
It's a number of things. Number one, we know how to play Aaron Donald. He was never a factor after that first quarter. We had constant double teams, and it wasn't the same double teams. They tried to switch him from the right side to the left. That wasn't going. And a shout out to McKivitz. You take over for Trent Williams, when I heard Trent Williams was not going to play on Sunday, I was a little worried because I figured Jalen Moore was going to play. And then McKivitz is starting, so I panicked. Yeah. But he did a wonderful job on that left side. It's not easy to take over for the best left tackle in the game, but he did it with flying colors. We know he knows their coach. He knows what they're going to try to do. And he's a master with the play action schemes and just constant motion, keeping the defense guessing. They were never comfortable. Even when they were stopping us in the first half, they were still on their toes. And, he just knows how to scheme for that team. It's like he's inside their head. It's like he wrote their playbook to perfection and just gives us the blueprint to go out there and do what we do.
No, absolutely. And also the 49ers, like as you said, they just know how to play the Rams. They know how to attack the Rams' weaknesses, which is basically, hey, don't run to Aaron Donald's side. Don't make him be a focal point of the defense. Don't allow him to take over a game. And it seems like Aaron Donald doesn't really have productive games against the 49ers. Shanahan knows what he's doing. We've also been able to run the ball. I think every game we've played, the last 6 games, we've ran for over 100 rushing yards.
Yes, so as a team.
Yes. And we're just physical, and we attack at the point in the trenches. And, hey, whoever usually wins the trenches, they win the game. And
that's a big difference. When the first couple of years Shannon was here, we would have abandoned the run game, and it would have been a rout. But he stayed with the run game even though we were down. In the second half, we just wore down their front. Yeah. And it was a beautiful thing to see. Even though Mitch only got 85 yards, it was still 4 yards a carry.
Right.
It still helped keep the chains moving, keep them guessing, opening up the play action, making it more effective.
Yeah, definitely. And also you add in, contributions from Deebo Samuel, and he's a jack of all trades, man. He's a different type of running back. He can do it all. And really
And he
appreciate
did.
his contributions. Yeah,
he did do it
he
all.
threw a touchdown pass. Ran in for a touchdown. I mean, he really did it all, man. Did it all.
Key catches when we needed him.
Right.
They definitely have to pay him off season. Whenever our season ends, we got to take care of Bosa, and then we got to take care of Debo. I really don't want him going anywhere. The only concern is Georgia just blocked a field goal attempt here. It's 9-6 for those of you wondering in the national championship game. We were wondering if he was going to come into shape because that was the problem with Debo.
Yeah.
He's come into shape and he's just taken charge of this team. I mean, he's carried this team on his back. He did so yesterday, and we needed everybody yesterday. That was just a great team win, period.
Absolutely, and that it was a resilient effort, man. They never gave up, and they made plays when they had to. And hats off to the defense. They were put in, definitely difficult situations, especially in the first half. And sometimes we allow a lot of yards. We allow those third down conversions, unfortunately, at times, but we don't allow that many touchdowns, and that's what really kept us in the game. I mean,
right?
The Rams could have easily been up 28-3 at the end of the first half, but fortunately, that didn't happen due to the defense.
Yes, indeed. That's just a testament to everybody coming together. Next man up there.
Absolutely. I gotta say, what's good to KD? Thanks for tuning into the stream.
I know this guy.
And appreciate the super chat. He says, I have a question, and I'm sorry that this is not a 49ers question, but if the Raiders and Chargers game ended in a tie, that would mean both would have made it to the playoffs, correct?
That is correct. That was not going to happen. These two teams, the Chargers wanted it, but the Raiders, I knew they weren't going to let that happen. They hate each other too much.
Yeah, division rivals, you want to beat your division rival out and make it to the playoffs in advance while they sit at home,
And it was nice to have three other teams worried after we won. I could actually enjoy watching that game instead of panicking or sulking after a loss there.
Right. No, absolutely, because I think a lot of 49ers fans' faith was tested at the end of the first half.
Mine was.
Yes. Mine was as well.
When we got that field goal, there was a little bit of hope, but I'm going to be honest. I was saying, okay, next season, I didn't even want Trey Lance in there at that point because it just looked that bad.
Right. Now, there's no doubt, and like you said earlier, that Shanahan, he did not abandon the run. I think it was the second drive of the third quarter. We ran the ball like 8 or 9 times. 10 straight times. And then Debo threw the touchdown pass to Jennings. And Jennings, man, that was a career game.
I thought he was going to drop that ball quite honestly.
He bobbled it a little bit, yeah.
He's made us forget all about Jalen Hurd.
Right.
Because he was supposed to be the guy.
Right.
But Jennings, he's got a few games under his belt. He's going to be a great one. That's one thing, especially if we sign Debo, that's one position we're not going to have to worry about.
Right.
Sanu was supposed to play, but coach said, I just can't take Jalen out of the lineup at this point. I just can't take Jennings out of the lineup at this point.
Right. And that would have been for Sanu, right?
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that either.
I don't think Sanu makes those catches, honestly.
Right. No, exactly. He's not the playmaker. I don't think that Jennings is. NYCE is in the building. What's good? NYCE says, Victory Monday. What's good, Jay? Hey, that little Ram fan is still mad. LOL. I would be mad too, man. 6 straight losses, man.
Georgia let's see here.
We got the sports source in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Hopefully your Monday night is going well. Also got JR Meadows. What's good? He says, what's good, Niners game? Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. I got to ask you this. What do you feel was the turning point in the 49ers game? What play or series that really turned this game around? And you thought, hey, the 49ers are still in this game. We can still win this game.
The third down just before the half where he got that pass into Debo to set us up for the field goal. Because we had absolutely nothing else going for us.
Right.
But once we got into field goal range and we were able to get 3, I'm thinking, okay, we can script the second half and get something going. That's exactly what they did with that first drive. But I think if we don't get that field goal in the first half, it would have been a long game.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. It just looked like the Rams. I don't know if they necessarily wanted it more, but they were definitely more physical. Stafford had all day to throw the ball. He was, damn near perfect throwing the ball in the first half, and just everything went right for the Rams, and we couldn't really get anything going offensively. The Rams were doing a good job, especially on the early downs and slowing down our running game and getting us into long third down situations, and that's not Jimmy's forte. That's not where he really shines in third and long. So, hats off to the Rams. They did an excellent job. And hey, they're still in the playoffs, and they're going to play the Cardinals next week on Monday Night Football. So that's going to be a hell of a game. Looking forward to that.
It is, and anything goes there.
Yep, division rival. They're going to knock one of each other out. So hey, I'm happy, man.
Right.
Payo Time is in the building. What's good? Payo Time is an LA Rams YouTuber. He does an excellent job. We had a collab recently. He says, "Hey Jay, I still want a rematch in the playoffs."
You don't want a rematch. You don't want a rematch.
That's why he says, "Ha ha."
Just stop.
He wants a rematch, but man, we got the Rams number, whatever it is. I would welcome a rematch because that means, hey, we've advanced further into the playoffs, so I don't mind at all. But man, 6 straight wins, that's incredible.
Georgia just went in front.
All right, man. Roberto is in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Roberto. He says playoffs, and I think he's very, very excited.
Yes,
about
indeed.
That.
We all should be.
Yeah, Smooth Trucking is in the building. What's good? He says, "What's good, Jay and Dave? Hey, hopefully all is well for you, Smooth Trucking. Stay safe out there, man."
You don't even have to talk smack to a Ram fan. All you got to do is put up a 6.
Exactly. That's all you got to do. In your opinion, who was the most impressive 49ers offensive player?
Got to be Debo. When you can run for a touchdown, make key catches, and throw for a touchdown, that's the whole gauntlet.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. He's the jack of all trades for the 49ers. He really elevates this offense. And I'm gonna say Elijah Mitchell. I think he had some tough carries. The Rams were playing physical. He was hitting. They were hitting him, and he was asking for more. What I thought about this, I didn't ask you before the show, but why? I know Shanahan loves to ride the hot hand, but why doesn't Shanahan use Jeff Wilson Jr.? Why do you have to run Mitchell into the ground? I mean, we know he's
because Mitchell hits the hole better. It was the same reason you had when Mostert was playing. You started him over Mitchell. There's just something about when they get in that hole and just have that second level ready to go. He's a game breaker. Wilson, kind of like, he's good, but how do I say it? He's not a game changer. He's level.
Yeah, there's just another Mitchell he's just at another level compared to Wilson. But I think you can't, I don't know. I just wish they would use Wilson a little bit more.
I would like to see them use him more just to take carries off of Mitchell's back.
Right. But I guess you could argue that Mitchell is getting a rest when Deebo Samuel carries the ball. I guess you could argue that because Samuel gets some carries as well. Usually his carries are in between 7 to 10 carries a game. So I guess you can say that. This 49ers defense, I think, played really well. They bounced back in the second half. Ambry Thomas got his first interception. That was great to see at the end of overtime.
Great for the rookie there.
That's got to be great confidence builder for him.
And whose name we didn't mention because he never made an appearance on the field.
Josh Norman.
I was praying if they would have him off the field, just start the rookie with Mosley. Right. It paid off there.
Yes. Yeah. And Josh Norman, he was on the field. He was on special teams, but he wasn't on any defensive snaps. So
special teams, it's good because he's an expert at punching out the ball. Right. That's where he's good at it. Stick him there.
And speaking of special teams, I'm gonna ask you who was the most impressive 49ers defensive player, but special teams, Mitch Wisnowski, gets hit in the head, gets taken out the game. Robbie Gold does an excellent job. He punted 2 balls. He could have easily shanked those balls. I also saw Robbie Gold.
He got lucky on that first one. He got lucky on that first one. He got that bounce.
Yeah, it bounced a few times. Yeah,
that second one was great.
Yeah,
this goes to show you field goal kickers can punt. Not all punters can field goal kick.
Right. No, absolutely. And Juszczyk had to go in and be a holder on field goal kicks. That was something else that kind of happened at the spur of the moment.
He's done it before, so I wasn't as worried when Wisnowski wasn't there.
Right. No, absolutely.
He's underrated as well. All the things that he does, the blocks he makes, he can be activated as a second tight end and special teams. So
no, absolutely.
We've got a few players like that.
And to focus on the defensive side of the ball, who stood out to you defensively yesterday in the Rams game?
Wow, there's a lot to choose from here, but I'm gonna give it to Big Play Dre only because he came back and he led the team with 12 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of that, he had that penalty where he went in with the head, but other than that, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
And then Shanahan said there is hope that Shahir might play. Having all 3 of those guys in at the same time, whoo.
Advantage 49ers, that's for sure. Yeah, Dre Green. I was gonna say the same thing. Greenlaw, he flashed on my television yesterday. He was all over the field. I know he had that penalty against Jefferson, but hey,
right.
he left something, an imprint in his mind. Like, hey, if you come out here on this field, you're gonna get hit, and you better be ready for it.
Hear from Jefferson again after that.
I think he might have had
one back on the field, one more catch, but it was very short.
It was very short. Also, Greenlaw did have that face mask penalty against the running back, but he definitely flashed. And you could really say the entire defensive line. I mean, they just made Stafford's life a living hell in the second half. Stafford was hurrying throws. Several balls hit the ground before they reached the receiver. So, man, if this 49ers defense plays like this, we can match up against anyone, I feel.
And we still don't have everybody back on the line.
Right.
Imagine Hurst was the best run stopper.
Right.
Imagine if he comes back, and then you can rotate guys in and out, keeping that line fresh at all times. I don't think the rest of the NFC is going to want to deal with that.
Right. No, I agree, because the 49ers can run the ball. We can attack your quarterback. And a lot of teams don't want to face that, but it will be an interesting matchup against the Cowboys on Sunday because they have talent on their team as well.
They do.
Roberto, what's good? Roberto says, "Bang bang Niner gang." Absolutely, man.
That's 4 words I could hear.
Absolutely, man. Let's see. We got D Sizzle in the building. You know what it is. What's good?
Now he's also on our show Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you watch for no other reason, watch for his skits. They are off the chain. And I know he's going to have something good for us Wednesday night.
I'm looking forward to that. He is very, very funny. I enjoy his takes. Looks like D Sizzle says Debo as the best, most impressive 49ers offensive player. Yeah, he's been, man, and it's funny. Coming into this year, I thought Ayuk would be the best wide receiver on this team. And I was obviously basing it off the previous year, but Debo he's raised his level of play to another level. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And yes, him and Bosa definitely will be inking large contract extensions this offseason. That's for sure.
Now, that whole wide receiving front, they did well yesterday. 16 total catches between the receivers. I think it was over 296 yards on 20 targets. They all did well as a group. You're starting to see Ayuk now being used the way he's supposed to be used, not just with short balls, but running clean routes. He's the best route runner of all the receivers. Jennings, you're seeing that length. that ball in overtime where he just used his body to shield the defender,
Right.
then big tackles, and then Debo just using his girth once he gets the ball. He's like a locomotive. You really don't want to hit him. Jalen Ramsey may have popped him in the first quarter, but by that fourth quarter, he didn't want none of that.
Right. I agree, man. We got John in the building. What's good? John says, I'd say the turning point was the beginning of the third quarter. The first 3 and out on Stafford set the tone. D'Amico Ryans adjusted greatly, totally underrated. Love that blitz call too. Yeah, he was. Fred Warner was in there blitzing. Other linebackers were in there blitzing. So yeah, great job by D'Amico Ryans.
And he does a great job of scheming it. We're not like other teams where you could tell it's coming. He times those perfectly. So when he went that third down where he came in and Arden Key got that sack, that was just brilliance. They were already beaten up from the front four getting pressure. Now to add Warner coming up the middle with that pursuit, that was wonderful. And that 3 and out that you talked about just kept the pressure on the Rams. And any Ram fans in that stadium, if any at all, because rumor says they pumped artificial sound in there because we outnumbered people.
Wow.
Interesting story. I got a text from the Rams as early as Monday. They were asking people to please wear blue to block out the red.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I've got it on my phone. So they knew what was coming, and we showed up again. I expect the same thing in Dallas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Blue True for that $5 donation to the YouTube channel. I appreciate that, Blue True. Hopefully your Monday night is going well. We also got Jag in the building. What's good?
Nice.
Appreciate that donation. Jag says, good evening, gentlemen. Proud of the team for believing in each other. Mad props to Shanahan for keeping the team focused and relentless. No, absolutely. I completely agree. Shanahan, it's been a seesaw type of season, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but Shanahan, for the most part, he's kept this team together.
He and John Lynch changed the culture.
Yeah.
You never heard anybody call anybody else out, no matter how bad it got this season. Everybody's been positive. 6 years ago, we couldn't have said that. It was cutthroat. It's just a nice change.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. D Sizzle agrees with me. He says, facts, we need 2 backs for the playoffs. Yeah, I would like to see Wilson get in there a little bit more, but I guess Debo is taking some of his carries. And also, I think NYCE, yeah, I think Hasty was in there a little bit. He got a couple rushes and passes, but when he dropped that third down pass, I didn't see him too much after that. Yeah, he was in there. I was surprised he got in there over Jeff Wilson Jr., but
they like to use him more on those passing downs. Right. As far as blocking, I don't see it.
No, that's very, very true. We got Sean Tuber in the building. What's good? Sean Tuber says, yo, Jay, great to see you, dude. Hey, likewise. I'm so happy the Niners made the playoffs. Let's hope we can knock off these top dogs. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
D Sizzle is giving us his most impressive unit. He says the D-line and the DBs. I agree.
Can't argue.
Can't argue with that. We talked about this a little bit, but why do you think the Niners' run defense has improved over the last 2 months? Because it started off pretty bad, but over the last few months, it's been pretty better.
Just a matter of healthy guys getting there at the right time. That's all it is. Because we said at the beginning of the season that front line was going to be the strength of our defense.
Yeah.
And then guys started getting hurt week 1, which is why Detroit got those many yards. In Green Bay, that usually I'll give props to Aaron Jones, but they usually didn't run well against us, but they took advantage of our injuries. So just guys getting healthy, coming back at the right time, and then you start to see that run defense tighten. Even with the Titans, when we played them in Tennessee, the week before we played them, they ran roughshod over their opponents. They didn't use that running attack against us because we stifled them. So I'm very confident going into this game in Dallas. I'm not worried about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm more worried about Pollard, but I'm not as worried. I think we're going to stop them. I think the key there is just going to get that pass rush so we can avoid the long bombs to CeeDee Lamb and company.
Right. No, absolutely. NYCE says, don't forget my boy Go DJ.
Yes.
That's my DJ. Go DJ. Yeah, DJ Jones. He's been outstanding this year.
I can't believe how fast he is. Over 300 pounds, and he moves like a fullback.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. The Niners have a lot of free agents this offseason. Not going to be able to re-sign everyone, but hey, we'll see what happens. That's going to be interesting. Very interesting.
It's a great problem to have.
Right, exactly.
Crazy. And you know what's good about DJ Jones? We don't hear the name Buckner anymore. It's not that Buckner wasn't good, but after Kinlaw went out, we were so worried about a void being in the middle of that line. Well, DJ Jones has taken that challenge and just pushed it back on the offense, literally.
Right.
He's getting in their face. He's getting sacks. He's stopping the pursuit of that running style from the other team. Yeah. He's just been outstanding.
And I like that tandem, Armstead and Jones next to each other. I think that's definitely helped the run defense over the last 2 months. And as you said, health as well has definitely helped this team. And also, you talk about Azeez. Hopefully, he'll be back for the Cowboys game. He's been very stout.
He really has.
So,
and I came into the season calling him the weakest link of the linebackers, and he's even outplayed Fred. And that's not easy to do.
That's not easy to do. Not at all. Not at all. But as you said, if we can have all three of those linebackers back, Fred Warner, Greenlaw, and Azeez, man, that's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see that.
Indeed.
I take it you've looked at the stats of the game between the Niners and Rams. If not, I can pull it up. But
go ahead and pull it up.
Pull it up. All right, we'll do. But I was going to ask you. What stats really stood out between, the Niners and Rams? And I'm going to pull it up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's scroll down to the stats. Actually, this is the game recap. So if we're looking at the team stats, can you see it, or should I blow it up a little bit?
No, I see it. I see it. Not all of it, but I see enough of it there.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what stood out to me was the 49ers third down efficiency, which was pretty bad in the first half, but we ended up being 9 of 14. That's 60%. That's great. That's pretty good. I'll take that next week into Dallas right now.
Yes.
That's pretty good. Now, defensively, 10 of 17, that's not good. And for whatever reason, the 49ers have struggled, I would say, over the last month.
But most of that was in the first half.
Right.
You didn't see a lot of that in the second half, and that's reflected in the total yards.
Right.
The way they were eating us up in the first half, especially with that pass, to hold them to 265 total yards is outstanding. And I believe we held him to what? Just over 200 yards passing.
Right. Yeah, they only had 201 yards passing.
That's great.
No, absolutely. And Jimmy wasn't perfect. No, Jimmy threw 2 interceptions. But fortunately, Stafford's interception kind of offset Jimmy's interception, and it really didn't hurt us. We were able to overcome it. That's what I'll say.
Yes.
We were able to overcome it. It did hurt us, but we were.
It also helps that Matt Stafford evened it out there.
Right. No, exactly. I was surprised. The Rams, they ran the ball 27 times. I was surprised they stuck with the run as much as they did.
They had to. Otherwise, Stafford probably wouldn't have lasted the game.
Yeah.
I've been watching the Rams all season here because I'm in Southern California. Okay. I was never worried about their running attack. That's one thing they haven't been able to do consistently all year.
Yeah.
If they ever had a game over 100 yards this season, it was by a miracle because that run offense is trash.
Yeah, they've had several injuries, during training camp to their running backs. They made the trade for Sony Michel in the middle of the season, and he's been pretty good the last 5 games prior to the Niners game. Like he had 500 yards in 5 games, but I knew, he hasn't gone up against a 49ers defense like this, and the numbers show 21 carries, 43 yards. That's only a 2-yard average. And his longest run was 14 yards. But other than that, he was pretty much bottled up.
He was. And they like to use him in the passing game too. But again, he's never faced linebackers like we have there.
Right. No, exactly. No, I completely agree. And you look at Matt Stafford, he had the 2 interceptions. He was sacked 5 times. This defense really, put him in his place in the second half. They really didn't have an answer for this, for this 49ers pass rush.
They did.
And if we keep that up against Dallas and Dak, now Dak, he's more mobile than Matt Stafford. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see, but Dak is having a pretty good year as well. So we'll see what happens with that.
Not by Dallas standards. I mean, he's gotten the touchdown passes.
Yeah.
But there was a 4 or 5 game stretch where he looked as bad as Jimmy G has in the losses. So if you keep him contained, he's not running as much as he used to either. I don't know whether he's guarding his health or whatnot, but I'm not as worried. And we seem to be doing well against mobile quarterbacks this season.
Right. Yeah, because we definitely struggled in that aspect of the defense when Salah was here.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, we've done much better. You'd really have to look at the film, or maybe you can give a synopsis as to why we've gotten better against mobile quarterbacks. Because Kyler Murray, we only faced him 1 time, but he didn't really make an impact as he normally would the previous seasons. And Russell Wilson, I don't recall, we only played him 1 time, but I don't recall him, just running for 120 yards or whatever,
Right. Well, it's mostly because we've kept one guy on him, and his job is to stay with the quarterback no matter what. That's helped out a lot.
No, absolutely. It has. Let's continue with these comments. I don't want to leave anyone behind. NYCE says, most impressive. He's going to show some love to Laken Tomlinson, the left guard. Doesn't really get a lot of pub. He is lined up next to the best offensive lineman in the NFL.
And his contract is up this season too.
I know. He's balling out, and he's going to – and what do you think? I didn't ask you this before the show. I'm going to put you on the spot. But if Laken Tomlinson and his representation say, hey, I want $10 million a year, sign me or I'm leaving. Give it to him.
Bargain. It's a bargain. Keep that left side the way it is. Do not change it for anybody. And he's been the most resilient, most consistent. I don't think he's missed a game in a couple of years.
And that was a trade. That was an early trade by John Lynch. Yep, when he first got here, John Lynch traded from Detroit, and that's been a hell of a an underrated trade. And we've definitely reaped the benefits of Laken Tomlinson. But as you mentioned, keep intact that left side, because we know Alex Mack, he's not going to be here for years to come. Brunskill,
I expect us to draft a center at some point.
I think we need to upgrade right guard with Brunskill, and then right tackle with McGlinchey. He'll be back because he already signed his franchise tag. But
I would just cut him loose.
We already signed him.
We're so much. I know we signed him to an extension, but we are so much better with Compton right now. I never thought I would say this.
I can't believe you said that.
But just on pass protection alone, we are so much better with Tom Compton than we are McGlinchey. Sad to say, we drafted high for McGlinchey. And he's great run blocking, but the pass protection is what we need at this point of the season. Got to have them both. I would just cut him loose or try to trade him, and I would even take a loss at this point financially just to get him somewhere else.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he already signed the 1 year, 5th year, I think, contract option that first round picks have. So he will be in uniform next year. But we'll see. McKivitz, he played pretty well in, emergency duty, basically, filling in. I think he only gave up like 1 sack, and that was to Von Miller, I believe, in the fourth quarter, I think. But
which which it's Von Miller.
It's Von Miller, exactly.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's Von Miller. And Jag just said, hey, how about the job McKivitz and Compton did? They did pretty well.
You can't say enough about them.
Right.
They were not projected starters, and I didn't understand why Tom Compton was in football. I mean, good Lord, but he has proved me wrong. I'll gladly say I was wrong about that.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely playing above expectations, that's for sure. Because once McGlinchey got hurt, I was like, well, who else we got? And can they at least do as good of a job as McGlinchey? But I guess that's not really saying that much.
I was excited about Jalen Moore.
Yeah.
But they chose Compton for a reason, Compton. And they were right.
They were right, yeah. And Moore, he looks very talented. And it's good to have a lot of talent along the offensive line. I think it'll, they say iron sharpens iron, and I think that's what we'll see with this offensive line, because there'll be a lot of competition. I mean, if we keep Tomlinson and let's say Max stays for another year, I think there could be. Well, I guess really there's only one job up for grabs.
You know what that does? Brunskill also plays center.
Right.
So if something happens to Mac, you can switch Brunskill to center.
True.
You can get another guard in there.
Yeah. No, hey, that's great point. No, great point. I agree with you, Jag. Jag says, I noticed that on every snap, the D-line was just pushing the O-line back towards Stafford. Yeah, they were doing a great job. Stafford wanted no part of that. He was throwing the ball before he wanted to, and, the Rams offense struggled in the second half due to that pass rush for sure.
They did. You saw what they did with their first play after that interception, that 18-yard run by Cooper Kupp. That was out of necessity. They were so beat up.
Yeah.
They needed to change the pace there.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, he doesn't, he doesn't run the ball a lot. So for them to do that reverse or wide receiver handoff, that was really, they didn't really have that many big plays in the second half, and that was one of them. I think that happened in the third quarter, I think.
No, that was that whole drive, that 92-yard drive in the fourth.
Oh, in the fourth. Okay.
I called the Cooper Kupp drive because it was his touchdown.
Right.
It was that run, and then it was that 30-something yard fade route that he got.
Right, so over Jimmy Ward.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was basically his drive. Alabama just went back in front again.
Wow. How much time is left?
In the fourth quarter, 10-14 left. It's 18-13, and the Crimson Tide's about to go for a 2-point conversion.
Wow. Tight game. I got to say, what's good to Paul Third. He says 142 is how many points the Cowboys have scored the last 4 games. Cowboys average rushing the last 4 games and the amount of rushing first downs the Cowboys defense has allowed this year. Now, the Cowboys, if you look at statistically, their offense, total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, points scored, they're all top 10 in the league. But if you look at their opponents, have you seen their opponents? They
benefited from that schedule. They're already in the NFC least to begin with.
Yes.
And then you play a third place schedule from last season.
Right.
You're going to get those wins. You're going to run up the score.
Right.
Let them beat a team that's actually worthy before I'm worried about that.
Totally. And let me just pull up the schedule so people watching can see, you can only play who's in front of you, but they haven't played a team the caliber of the 49ers. And I think that's pretty clear once we see the schedule. So look, this is who the Cowboys have played. We can just start off in the month of December. So they played the Saints. Okay. They're decent, but they don't really have a quarterback.
And
they played Washington. They played the Giants.
They're out. Raiders beat them.
Right. So they played Washington twice. They played the Eagles, and the Eagles didn't play their starters, and then they lost to the Cardinals. So
and they played the Giants twice, which is the next thing to a bye.
Exactly. Or that's like a college team, man.
Mm-hmm. Arizona beat them in their own house.
Right. So the competition, even if you go back to November, it's been lean. The only really good teams they played, KC, you can say the Raiders, they're in the playoffs, and then Arizona.
And Denver beat them in their house. And it wasn't that close.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not saying this Cowboys team is flawed, but I'm just saying they haven't played a team the caliber of the 49ers. So I think, they've got something coming to them. That's what I think.
Yes.
NYCE, he mentions the penalties that we had. Let me pull that up real quick.
You know what? Actually, for penalties, that was pretty much a penalty-free game. I think we had, 4 penalties the entire game? It's not like our normal games where we had, penalty after penalty in the double digits and in the triple digits in yards. That was pretty much a clean game.
We didn't have – I think we had one defensive pass interference that might have been on Mosley, I think. But I think it was just one.
I think it was Mosley. It was just one.
It was just one. So the other penalties, it was 2 from Greenlaw. And so that's basically half of the penalties right there. But, yeah, when we don't have those huge 40, 50-yard defensive pass interference penalties, hey, we don't give teams an easier chance to score. So that definitely helps when we don't beat ourselves with penalties.
Exactly.
But yeah, great point though, NYC. It is something to clean up. I would obviously rather see that number to 0, but I think they did, a pretty decent job.
Yeah, considering what we had all season, that was a pretty clean game there.
Right. No, absolutely. We got Judah Great in the house. Another member of that Real Talk Niner Talk. He says, "What's good, my brothers? How do you all feel about the Cowboys matchup?" Yeah, what are your initial thoughts?
This was the matchup I wanted. It really is, because I feel we can beat them. Their offense is not as scary unless you talk about the passing game. If our pass rush is what it was Sunday, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Their running game, Ezekiel Elliott is a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Pollard. We can beat this team.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like the Cowboys can hurt us, though, if Dak has time to throw and he can throw to Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Cedric Wilson. They even have a good tight end. So the Cowboys, they do have playmakers on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm not as worried about the tight end anymore with Dre Greenlaw back, as he can cover that tight end. But those 2 receivers, Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, do scare me. They do scare me.
Yeah.
I'm less afraid with our secondary the way it is now at the corners. I would be more afraid if Norman were playing.
Yeah, no doubt. Question for you. Do you think the Niners can beat the Cowboys without Trent Williams?
No. I love McKivitz and what he did, but I think they are a better, more sound defense than the Rams were. And I really don't want to put it on him to do that again.
Yeah, like they play good in spot duty, but that doesn't mean they should be there 16 games a year or in a playoff game in Dallas. So I was surprised as you were when I heard the news about Trent Williams and the elbow injury. I mean, I know he didn't practice all week, but I guess I just assumed, he's a vet. He doesn't need to practice. Rest, exactly. But looks like that elbow injury was more severe. And I'm sure we'll get updates about that, this week. But hopefully he can at least be a full participant by Friday.
Earlier in the press briefing this afternoon, he said it's a wait-and-see approach, so we won't see anything till Wednesday for sure.
Okay. And there was some news about our cornerback, the rookie Demo Lenore. He was obviously on the COVID list, but as of today, he's been activated off of the COVID list. So,
that's good. I thought that's who we were going to use to replace K1 Williams in the slot, because that's what he's being groomed for. Right. So I was really surprised when Dante Johnson got the start.
Yeah, and that's another thing. K1 Williams did not play as well, and I believe it was he was on the COVID list, right?
He got cleared, but he wasn't. He got cleared Saturday, but he wasn't well enough to go.
Okay, so that's another player. Hopefully, he'll be well enough to go against Dallas, and that will bolster up our defense even more. So,
Shanahan said he sees no reason that Williams will not practice on Wednesday.
Nice. We got Romello Bell in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, man. Hopefully all is well on a Monday night for you. Jag says, I think the Cowboys defense is quick but light. If we stick to the run, hopefully we can run against that defense. Yeah, statistically, they're middle of the pack run defense. They don't do it great, but they're not terrible. So I think there will be opportunities for this Niners run game to, Shanahan, he's great, great. Some people question his play calling, but there's no doubt he can seek out the defense's weaknesses. He does that with some of the best coaches in the NFL, and I think he can definitely do that against his Cowboys defense.
Yes. The one guy I worry about is Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
He is a linebacker, but they will move him around. Don't be surprised if he's at defensive end. Wow, what a catch!
I was what I noticed about the Cowboys defense is obviously they get a lot of sacks, but it's basically from one guy. Micah Parsons, he's got like 13 and a half sacks. The next guy that has sacks is 6.5, and I think that his name is escaping me, but he also was on the defensive line. And the young corner they have, he has 11 interceptions. So
yes,
they do pretty well in getting after the quarterback. They can also intercept the ball with some of the best of them. And I think the Cowboys, they lead the NFL in takeaways. So
they do. They are an opportunistic defense.
Right.
One advantage we have is with Jimmy Garoppolo, we don't go deep. It's in the middle, which is a good thing. Yeah. That was also a strength that we had yesterday. Their corners are pretty good, but they're very soft in the middle. We got a lot of balls in the middle. Right. In other words, their defense is tailor-made for Jimmy Garoppolo to succeed yesterday.
Yeah. No, absolutely. NYCE says Dallas hasn't beat a team that is in the playoffs except the Eagles. Wow. And we beat the Eagles. It was close, but, I think if we played the Eagles now, we would beat them again. So
that was an ugly game, but
yeah. Yeah, second week. Yeah, that was definitely an ugly game. Paul says, answer is C. The Cowboys have allowed 142 rushing first downs to their third place schedule opponents only. Only the Texans were worse. Okay, so they give up yards on the ground.
The Texans,
right? NYCE says, I think our physical play is going to surprise Dallas. I want to see how Micah Parsons does with Kittle.
There it is.
Kittle is going to be a big factor.
That's one of the matchups I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
Parsons versus Kittle.
Exactly.
Kittle wasn't as active catching. He did have 5 catches for 10 yards.
Yeah.
But he was effective blocking yesterday.
Right.
Especially when that running game came alive in the second half.
No, absolutely. And that's got to be a goal in the game against the Cowboys on Sunday. Get Kittle involved early and often. We obviously know what he can do in the running game. He's great blocking, being very physical. But we got to get him involved in the passing game. And I'm not sure the Cowboys linebackers have faced a tight end like Kittle, who is a playmaker, and is a mismatch nightmare. So I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup. That's for sure.
And with all 3 receivers coming of age, that should open some opportunities for Kittle to get more of a say, because they can't just lock in on 1 or 2 receivers. They got to lock in on all 3. Yeah. And that's going to leave him in that one-on-one matchup. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to beat Micah Parsons.
Absolutely. And if you guys are enjoying the stream tonight, I appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that you're enjoying the stream. And also make sure you check out Dave from Real Talk Niner Talk. All the social media links for the Real Talk Niner Talk crew, their YouTube channel, IG, and Twitter are all in the links in the description of this video. Make sure you guys check them out. Drew the Great says, I look back at last season when they barely beat us with a depleted team. I think with us at full strength, we will give them problems as long as Jimmy doesn't Jimmy. Hello.
Drew makes a great point. Yeah. We were able to get away with 2 interceptions last week. I don't think we do that in the playoffs and be successful there. So Jimmy's got not rock the boat there.
Exactly. And his interceptions yesterday, the first one was just terrible. I don't know what he was doing.
I think he got hit that first one.
Is that the one you're talking about? We got hit in the head? That was the second interception.
No. He took a hit the first one. That's why it wobbled the way it did.
Okay. I was thinking, if you can't step into your throw, then it's not worth throwing it because you're not going to be able to make an accurate throw. So I know he's trying to make a play.
We know he doesn't do that though.
Right. That's just Jimmy being Jimmy, unfortunately.
Right.
Jag says we just have to win the time of possession. That will keep the Cowboys offense on the sidelines. Agree. That's got to be the game plan. Keep that high-powered offense on the sidelines, win the time of possession, and keep converting third downs and winning and converting third downs and getting to the end zone. I think that's got to be the 49ers game plan against the Cowboys. John says, is Dak a super mobile quarterback? I'd rather face a pocket passer like Stafford or Brady. Easier for our D-line to get to the quarterback.
He is mobile. He's not as mobile as years past. I think coming back from that injury, he's kind of cooled it off of running every chance he gets there.
Yeah, because he had that. He had that devastating injury, that broken leg, and so he definitely doesn't want to, risk that. And he's becoming more of a pocket passer, but he can maneuver in the pocket and he can, escape the pocket and allow his receivers to get, more time to get open. So that is a positive trait that Dak possesses. That's for sure.
Yes, he does.
So as far as the Cowboys, which offensive player are you most concerned about on Sunday?
CeeDee Lamb.
He's been having a hell of a year.
He's just a man among boys there. I have him in my top 5 receivers in the league there with Debo, with Jamar Chase, with Jefferson. He's right up there. He makes a big difference. He opens up holes for Amari Cooper, who used to be the guy before CD got there.
Yeah.
As a duel, they're both dangerous, but CD scares me a little more.
Yeah, there's no doubt. CD, I'm looking at his regular season stats right now, and he's got 79 catches on the season, 1,100 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. So he's having a great a rookie season, that's for sure. Yes. And he will be a problem for this secondary, that's for sure. But if we're able to get pressure on on Dak, it will definitely limit his effectiveness, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Drew the Great says Parsons struggles in the run game. He's too light.
Agreed. And as we've already established, you can run on this defense.
Yeah.
If we're able to rush 30 times, 35, 40 times, it's going to be a win.
Agreed. And Jag, I think that is Randy Gregory, who is second on the Cowboys team in sacks with 6.5. But yeah, Michael Parsons leads the team, but I feel like we can neutralize him. And like I said before, Shanahan is great at neutralizing great defensive linemen. I mean, he sees Aaron Donald. Granted, Aaron Donald and Michael Parsons are different players, but I think he can scheme a way to limit Michael Parsons' effectiveness. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Indeed.
Corey Davis.
We got Dallas 3.5-point favorites. So.
And they're at home, so it's basically a pick 'em. I mean, because you already get 3 points if you're the home team. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it could be a high scoring game, kind of like the Rams game yesterday. I think it would be in the late 20s, maybe low 30s. So right.
But is it really a home game? I mean, we're going to outnumber them probably again in their home stadium. So.
Probably. I mean, the game is in Texas, but there's going to be a sea of red out there.
Yes.
That's for sure. We got 49er Minded in the building.
Beto, what's good?
Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. He says, what's up, Dave and Jay in the Bay? Man, all is good on a Victory Monday, brother.
Yeah, always enjoy comrades after a victory there.
Absolutely. We got Splash Out as well. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. So I think it's pretty clear, the Cowboys defensive player you're most concerned about, Michael Parsons, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only because I know they're going to move him around. He's going to test that right side. So Compton and Brunskill are going to have their hands full. I don't think he's going to come off the left side. I don't think he's going to challenge Williams if he plays or Lincoln Tomlinson. But I expect him to use him up the middle and to that right side. If we can hold him, we should be pretty good.
Hey, I agree.
Excuse me.
Completely agree. And also their young corner, Trayvon Diggs, he's having an excellent season. I believe he leads the NFL in interceptions with 11.
He does.
And he is a risk taker. He loves to take risks, and so far they've paid off. But it'll be interesting to see who he's matched up with, because I don't think they'll double a player in this game. But if they do, we have other options: Ayuk, Jennings, Kittle, Devo. So I think the skill guys on the offensive side of the ball are playing their best football right now.
They really are.
And Dallas will have their hands full. That's for sure.
And having Jennings as that third wide receiver established now, that just opens so many more doors for us there.
I completely agree. NYCE says, hey, Jay, I noticed that they had Kittle help block because of Trent being out, and Jennings filled that Kittle role. I went back and looked at some of those plays, and Jennings' play were some of Kittle's. I think that was a great idea to use Kittle there to help in the offensive line protection for Jimmy G. I mean, you don't want to leave Colton McKivitz out there by himself. This is his first start this year. He hasn't really gotten any significant snaps this year, and this was a playoff atmosphere type of game. So I think that was a great decision by Shanahan.
And that is one of the reasons that Jennings has come on of late, because if you look back at the games early in the season, he was mostly in that blocking role. Now that he's established himself as a pass catcher, again, that just gives us another weapon to give on the Cowboys there.
No, absolutely. This is an interesting comment from Dan Castillo. What's good? Dan says, if Jimmy doesn't throw any picks from here on out, I can see us in the Super Bowl. What say you, Dave?
I agree. There is no dominant team in the NFC. I mean, Tampa Bay's not dominant. We nearly beat Green Bay, a game we should have won.
Right.
We nearly beat Arizona with a backup Trey. That should have been a win. We own the Rams still. So I'm not really worried about anybody in the NFC.
No, I agree. Every team has it's not perfect. There are teams out there that, hey, they can't run the ball or they can't stop the run. Like the Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions from last year. AB is obviously left the building. What's their other receiver who got Godwin? I think he has a torn ACL, so he'll be out. So they're not at full strength. And I think the Packers, we could run on the Packers. We know. Yes, the formula to beat the Packers is to out physical them, keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, and just run the ball down their throat. So we had the lead with 38 seconds left against them.
Our offense is made for playoff football. It's made for time of possession. So this is the perfect offense to achieve that.
Yep. Jimmy just have to do a good job, manage the game, make some key throws, but try not to turn the ball over.
That's key.
Yeah. We got Livy's World in the building. What's good? Livy's World says, what's good? Congrats, Jay, making it to the playoffs. Livy's World says, come on, Jimmy. Go, Jimmy. Go, go, go. Go, Jimmy. Cannot
say enough about number 10.
Got to give him his props.
We all know the situation coming into the year. Anybody else could have talked bad about the organization, packed it in. He's been positive throughout. Even when he's played bad, he's been positive throughout. And this was overall, even with the 2 interceptions, I think his best game as a 49er. Half a thumb you're operating, trying to throw that ball.
Right.
You're able to lead us on the key drive, getting us into overtime, and then guiding us down to get that field goal to win it. You can't say enough about him. No matter what happens from here on out.
Hey, I agree, man. His time with the 49ers has definitely been up. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But he played some of his best football with the 49ers yesterday. And we have to give him his flowers, give him his props, man. That's for sure. We are blessed to have Niner sickness in the
building. I made a mistake before.
Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Niner Sickness. He says, hello, Niner Faithful. How's everyone doing? We're doing excellent on a
Wonderful.
Victory Monday, man. Doing excellent on a Victory Monday. Let's see. Splash Out says CD is in his second year. Okay. And he's not top 5. Okay. Well, he's having a pretty good season this year. Pro Bowl worthy season.
Definitely has.
Yeah. Let's see. Romello says he better put running into his new training because we coming to get him and he better outrun us. Maybe he's talking about Dak.
Possibly.
Man, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight, man. We've already reached an hour. Shout out to everyone. Yeah, that went super fast, man. Shout out to everyone who was in the chat today, contributing to the discussion. But hey, the floor is yours. Let people know who haven't heard of the Real Talk Niner Talk crew. Let people know where they can find you guys on social media. And also, hey, what you guys talk about for those that don't know.
Oh, goodness. We talk about all aspects of the game. We give you stats. We give you matchups to look for every week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and Facebook Live. If you don't catch us live, you can always catch us on the rebroadcast. It's Real Talk, Niner Talk. We're also on Spotify. If you can't watch us, you can listen to the podcast, Twitch, Apple. I'm on Instagram at Mr. Edmondson 30. You can also find me on Twitter, that same ID. And send me a DM, send me questions. We don't back away from any challengers. So when opponents come in there, just know they're going to get it.
Absolutely. And you guys are true to your name, Real Talk, Niner Talk. Y'all bring it real, and you don't pull no punches. And
not with anybody. We have no favorites. You do well, we give you your props. You do bad, we're going to talk about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to you guys' show coming up. And for those that haven't followed, make sure you check Real Talk, Niner Talk crew and Dave. Their social media links are in the description of this video. And Dave, it's been a pleasure, man. We got to do this again.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to the game on Sunday, man. You have a good night.
You do the same.
Thanks,
everybody.
Man. Take it easy. All right. So that was Super Dave, the OG. Man, it's been a pleasure having him on. He is 1/4 of that Real Talk, Niner Talk crew, and they do their thing, and I'm a fan of their show. I'm glad he was able to come on to my show tonight. I'm going to finish up with these comments. Let's see. NYCE says, I'm glad we are the underdogs. I love the doubters. Yeah, exactly. The Cowboys, hey, they've had a great season. I don't think they've played a team like the 49ers yet. I just don't see it. You look at their schedule, they played the Giants, they played Washington. As NYC has said, they really haven't played anyone except the Eagles as a playoff team, at least in the last month or so. So this 49ers team, I think, is on a different level, and I'm looking forward to the matchup between the Niners and the Cowboys. We got Luke Luna in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Luke. Glad you could be here tonight. Let's see. Jag, hey, I appreciate you for coming through to the stream, Jag. Hopefully you're having a great Monday night as well. He says, gotta go. Hoping you and Dave stay blessed and have a happy new year. Same to you, man. Happy New Year. Let's see. That's going to be a good game. Niner sickness. I know the Eagles are pretty good at running the ball, and that is something that the Bucs struggle at because they're not healthy up front. So that will be an interesting game. But hey, maybe the Eagles can beat the Bucs, but I would not bet on it. I would not bet that the Eagles can beat the Bucs. I'm not betting against Tom Brady, at least not yet. Let's see. We got Andre in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Andre. He says we got to get used to being on the road. Looking forward to seeing the world famous Dallas cheerleaders and seeing Jerry Jones' face at the end of the game. 49ers 24-17. All right. I like that, man. I'll take that. I will definitely take that. Queen B, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I appreciate you leaving the thumbs up for the stream. Hopefully all is well in your neck of the woods. Happy New Year to you as well, Queen B. Let's see. NYCE says, hey, Jay and Dave, what do you see happening in the future with our RB room? A lot of good running backs. Do you see someone not returning next season? That's what happened with Breida. I mean, Mostert, obviously, he's one of the best running backs in the NFL when he's healthy, but he's not able to stay healthy. It will be interesting. I would say this. I won't be surprised if the Niners bring Mostert back. It'll be a 1-year team-friendly deal. It'll be a low salary, but as long as we don't depend on Mostert being our starter, which I don't think we will, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back. You'd have Mostert, you'd have Mitchell, you'd have Sermon, you'd have Jeff Wilson Jr., Jermichael Hasty. That's 5 pretty good running backs right there. And obviously, we know we need a lot of depth at that running back position. So I would not be opposed to bringing back Raheem Mostert. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in to the stream tonight. It was a successful night. Glad to have Super Dave, the OG, on. Looking forward to our next collab. But yeah, shout out to everyone who was in the chat tonight. There were some super chats. I believe it was Blue True. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. Blue True, Jag, Corey Davis, I appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the donations to the stream. Hopefully everyone has an excellent rest of your Monday night. Let's see. Luke Luna says 31-15. I mean, so way more ups and downs with Jimmy. I can't go that far, Double L. Jimmy's highs, hey, they've been up there, but his lows, man, they've been pretty low. But hey, if you're talking about just wins and losses, then yeah, there's more ups and downs. But man, I'm gonna keep it positive. Jimmy balled out yesterday. He overcame a lot yesterday, and hey, he was a catalyst in getting us to the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. Have a good night, Dan Castillo. Appreciate you for being in the stream tonight. Queen B, you have a blessed night and week as well. Hey, the pleasure's all mine, David, man. Glad to have you on, man. Pleasure's all mine. Appreciate the kind words, Niner Sickness, man. I appreciate that, man. Everyone have a good rest of your night. Shout out to everyone watching Jay and the Bay, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, also the Spotlight Sports Network, Facebook, YouTube. Shout out to you guys as well. Let's see. I'm going to try to get a Dallas Cowboys YouTuber probably on a Thursday night, and we'll preview the game. And then, of course, you can come back to Jay and the Bay for 49ers news. Of course, I'll have a pregame show on Sunday and also a postgame show as well. Appreciate everyone's support. Let's see. Luke Luna says Jimmy's playoffs and the last dance. Let's see how special he makes this run. Hey, let's see. I'm looking forward to what else Jimmy G can do in the red and gold. NYCE says, great show, Jay. Thank you for the platform. Hey, thank you for being a part of the Jay and the Bay YouTube channel, man. I appreciate that. Libby's World says, good night, y'all. Great stream, Jay, as always. Appreciate the kind words, Libby. Appreciate the kind words, Libby's World. Appreciate you. And everyone have a good rest of your night. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.